Today's episode of The Buzzer is brought to you by not having to put on pants to go to work. See? There's already an upside.
You never put on pants.
That's not the point. It's not the point right now.
Well, Sean.
Go ahead, JT.
On a lighter note, on today's episode of The Buzzer,
we all know that COVID-19 is what is on everybody's mind, but we're here to make things a little less scary.
and we do have plenty of good news involving hopeful stories in the midst of this pandemic. Plus, we also have a couple of offbeat stories involving a kangaroo stealing toilet paper and a cow escaping from the police. Very relevant stories.
Absolutely. Sure. Oh, and for you parents who are quarantined at home with the kiddos, much like our guest today, we have a list of tips on how to keep them occupied and keep your sanity. And keep in mind, they were all written by JT and me, and neither of us are parents. So
we're going to be great someday.
We're going to nail it. And as a special bonus, we are joined by an old pal, Scott Frazier, and he is currently in the thick of it as well with the rest of us. And it should be a good time. Scott, happy to have you here.
Glad to be here, guys. Just glad to be here. Come on, let's do this thing.
Well, we'll see if you say that at the end of the episode. But
that's true. I might regret this. I might regret this completely, guys. So.
Well, let's see if Scott regrets it or not. All that and more on today's episode of The Buzzer. You know, I think we should just jump right on in. I'm not going to promote anything right now because, as everyone knows, I mean, we're in the middle of coronavirus, social distancing. It just doesn't feel right to capitalize on this. But what does feel right is being together separately. And that's what this episode is about. So we're doing a little bit of an unorthodox version of The Buzzer. But hey, we're not in our normal studio. We're not in the Buzzer basement. We're actually in my room, which is terribly decorated. It's definitely frat guys.
I don't even know how you still have a girlfriend.
I don't know how my girlfriend puts up with me. I mean, I just have posted the Dark Knight.
Yeah, miraculous, guys, truly.
It's honestly a miracle. It's the grace of God that if I don't end up alone, or the grace of God if I do. Either way. But the point is, we are joined. I've got Buzzer alum JT. He's my roommate, which is very fitting because we are quarantined together. You can see him in the video right over here.
Yeah, I was next door. He's like, "Hey, jump on." I was like, "Yeah, why not?"
But the real treat of the day is we are joined by my old amigo Scott Frazier. Scott and I met at the Austin Stone, and once upon a time, oh goodness, it was probably almost a decade ago.
Dude, a decade ago, yeah, I think so.
Golly, Scott. Tell the people what you're doing, what you've been up to, where you're at now. How did you get Corona-19?
What do I do? I don't even know what I do. People are like, what do you do? And I'm like, I wish I could tell you. You know, I think, I think, we met at the Stone, and that was, we were in college, right? At the time, and the glory days, man. You know, it's really been downhill from there, hasn't it? It's really...
Well, you've at least you've got a family, you're married, things, and then JT and I over here just live we were saying before the show, we live in this adorable family neighborhood in Hyde Park. It's just cute families.
Yeah,
we're the bane of the HOA. We're the kids don't on Halloween. I have candy every year. I set it out. They don't come trick or treating.
They don't.
Parents saying we don't go over there really.
Dude, parents shift their kids past you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We are just a black hole for sure. Coronavirus won't even come into our house. It just took one look at us and said, "No,
we're going to do it the other way."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally understandable. And that's, guys, that's, so we met at the Stone, and and then I literally went into industrial distribution. I was literally like Tim the Toolman Taylor. And literally had a shop and everything, right? And then I was a pastor at the Austin Stone for 8 years, and then recently made a transition to really it's I would say real estate investment just to make myself sound a little bit better, but really I'm in the social services side, taking care, doing caring for staff and residents, and working with after school for kids care, that kind of stuff, all across the board. So it's been a super fun role recently.
Scott's just a good guy all around, and you're going to get that. If you haven't already picked up on that, you'll definitely pick up on that as the show goes on. Very
I'm
curious.
trying, guys. I'm trying.
Also, probably the only source of the one follow you should be making. There's 2 follows you should be making on Twitter right now during COVID-19. One is obviously Dunder Mifflin COVID-19, and it's a what if The Office was still going on and Michael Scott was manager during such a crisis? What would that look like? Hilarious tweets. But the other one is none other than Scott the Tool Man Frazier over here giving encouragement, giving scriptural advice and wisdom and hope. I mean, it's just a good follow right there.
I'm trying to like, dude, I'm trying to peddle some hope out there,
You're doing it, but you're doing it.
Come on, we're trying. We out here trying, man. We out here in these streets. Well, not really in the streets. We can't really say that. That doesn't apply here.
You can't go in the streets because of social distancing, but metaphorically,
we in these streets,
Absolutely, we in these streets. Well, what do you say we bring these proverbial streets a little bit closer with some comedy and pop culture? We're going to try to take your mind off of things just for the next half hour or so. So what do you say we jump on in, Scott?
I love it. Let's do it, man. Jump on in.
Story
of the week. No, that was terrible. I think we're going to do that again.
We'll cut it together. Who cares? We got it.
Corona.
It's Corona time. It's not about perfection.
That's right.
So obviously the real story of the week is COVID-19, but we're going to go ahead and just assume everyone wants a break from hearing all the negative headlines. And so we have 2 off-the-wall stories about animals. But one kind of relates to the coronavirus epidemic, and one is just a ridiculous story. But let's go ahead and get started here. So obviously we've been hearing about people who've been, hoarding toilet paper and all that, which, guys, like to quote Chris Traeger in Parks and Rec, stop pooping. If that's you got to just simmer down.
Seriously.
Let's go down under to Australia. There's a story of a kangaroo who was caught eating toilet paper in an Australian bathroom, and it was filmed. Campers at Wilpena Pound Campground in South Australia caught footage of a kangaroo inside a restroom eating its supply of toilet paper, and I actually caught JT doing the exact same thing at Costco this week. So,
Sean, when they only allow 2 rules per person, you got to do what you got to do.
You got to take
That's
advantage.
what you got to do.
I'm okay. That's my freedom. I have a right to do it.
This is America, all right?
This is America. This is not Australia.
It's not Australia.
We have a dumpster dive for our toilet paper.
I have rights.
Yeah.
Rights to wipe.
This kangaroo, maybe was just an opportunist. Maybe he just saw the right time, right place. Got to get ahead of this.
Right.
I don't know.
And guys, Australia's been through a lot recently. He just come out of the fires. Can you blame the guy? He's dealing with some trauma in his life,
Exactly. For real. Like, honestly, Australia 2020, if nothing else, like, if we do have an Olympics, they should just get all the gold medals because they
all of them.
All of them. Just, you guys deserve it. So there's not really much to say on that animal instinct one, but this is one I really want to get into. I just thought it was a funny story with the kangaroo. But this one, though, there was a cow in Florida with quote unquote surprising speed that has been evading cops for months. This is not a made up story. Like this actually. So basically, here's what happened. Police in Florida are now asking for the public's help to catch a bovine menace.
Oh, he's still loose.
That has been evading authorities for weeks, quote, due to his surprising speed and amazing fence jumping skills, end quote. And there's a wanted poster that just says unknown cow. We'll post this on the social media here. And descriptions: a female cow, brown with a white head, faster than it looks, talented fence jumper, enjoys pools, frequents the certain area of town, and the cow is not considered dangerous. Good news.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord, but has been known to walk into a roadway, so drive carefully. And then the pending charges are moving violations, uttering false checks, and fleeing and eluding police.
Just complete utter destruction.
Utter destruction.
Utter destruction, guys.
I mean, you listen, like some of my good buddies are fine, part of our fine boys in blue. And I, being a cop is a tough game.
Tough gig, yeah.
Does one not capture a cow for months on end.
Do you cup them or do you take them to the glue factory? Like, what do?
Do you
Put them in prison?
I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe this is what if all of this is just a long-term ad for Chick-fil-A? And it's just part of their Florida campaign.
Catch the cow. Wow.
Catch the cow.
Eat more chicken. I mean, that's, it's like, I mean, it's incredible. It's quite, and of course, Chick-fil-A, they do everything immaculately. Even the drive-thrus right now, man, you're like, the dining's closed, but the drive-thru is like 100 times faster now. But this,
It's perfectly because nobody's outside. Everybody's quarantined.
Exactly. So this is
the perfect time for an escape.
This cow is on it. He's been planning this.
He planted Corona.
He might have.
We found the culprit. Maybe that's literally what he got in trouble for. Maybe that's why they're after him.
They got to track this cow down as quickly as possible.
I really do.
It just makes me really happy knowing like we can pause from all the real tragedy of the world and just know that there is a cow on the loose, right?
This world is falling apart.
Public enemy number one is some brown cow in Florida. So there you go.
Yeah, the unknown cow. It's very mysterious, like the unknown cow. I don't know. I'm just.
What should be, Scott? What should be the bigger headline right now? Tom Brady going to the Bucks, or a brown cow on the loose for 3 months?
I think the Brady saga. We kind of all saw this kind of heading this way. So I feel like the bigger headline truly is that this cow is deceptively fast. That's the thing, because you can just see it visually. You're like all these people that are like trying to surround it and corner it, and it just like puts a little juke move on him and hits an element and takes off the other way. I don't know.
Maybe he went down to Tampa Bay because they got some real offensive weapons in this cow. I mean, the Patriots weren't picking up any pieces for him.
It's a tight end.
But then there's a brown cow that's just able to jump and run fast, and Brady's like, I'm there. I don't even care.
Free agent.
Totally sounds like an element type, inside slot receiver. So I'm like, that big tight end figure. I mean, this is what Brady's done that he's been successful with, right? I mean, Gronkowski, got all the guys. Let's go.
The goat and the cow. It sounds like the fable we really need to be teaching our kids right now.
This is the story.
Are you writing that children's novel next, man?
I'm already on it. We're getting the patent. We're getting the copyright.
Yep.
Be looking for that here very soon. Coming from the doctor. Goat and cow. I have nothing to add on this. I just think that Florida is a delightful place. It's the Australia of America where truly anything can happen. So
true. Anything goes, guys. Anything goes.
The goat and the cow. All right, let's move on to our next segment, which is called
Bold Strategy.
Nailed it. All right, here we go. So the movie Outbreak is trending on Netflix. What's wrong with you people? This is not a good look for us right now. I mean, like, we're working ourselves, and also I looked it up, not on Netflix, but on the other streaming sites here, YouTube and Apple Play and all that. Contagion is a popular choice. Both are about outbreaks and for pandemics. Both are thrillers. Neither are helpful for our calm tranquility in this moment.
Have you guys seen it? Have you guys seen them?
Yeah, they're good. They're great movies. Not at a time like this.
It feels the timing seems off slightly and a little yeesh, It's not a good look. Not a good look.
Not a good look.
Do you think Donald Trump's watching them and that's how he's like releasing like what to do? He's like watching these movies.
What does Morgan Freeman do?
This is our solution.
Who's the Dustin Hoffman in this though, guys? Of you, what character are you in Outbreak? That's the real, are you a Cuba? Are you a Morgan? Are you a Dustin? Who are you?
I wish I was Dustin, but I wish I was in. I'm the guy that dies first. I'm patient zero in all of this. And
I just like how there was no hesitation.
Yeah, so I know my role in this. I'm not going to die for a respectable reason. I'm going to eat like a wrapper that was from a dumpster outside of our house or something, and that's the fitting end. I mean, you get what you pay for, honestly.
It's true.
I'm the guy eating bat soup in Wuhan. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
You're the guy.
We're here. So what are you going to do? But yeah, I just think like there's a lot of things you could be watching right now but that's probably not the one I would go to first.
No, not at all.
People have lost their mind.
Scott, what's on? I mean, you're a family man. You got some kiddos, and I can only guess as to some of it. But what's on your current Netflix, Amazon queue right now for all the bits?
Well, you know what, man? You know the thing is it's Disney Plus. Disney Plus has taken over everything. So you got of course, I think I've watched all Toy Stories, back to back, Monsters Inc., Monsters University, all right, which is surprisingly fantastic.
Great
good life lessons, yeah. And so that's mainly, guys, Cars, Toy Story, Frozen 1, Frozen 2. I mean, you're like, that's my life right now, guys.
Does it hold up from your memory of watching those movies as a child, specifically Toy Story?
Yeah, man, you know what? They're genius because they're bringing like that next generation in. You're like, there's something that's like bonding my kid and I. You're going like, dude, this is Buzz and Woody. Like, you have to know them to understand life. Like,
yeah, right.
You have to love them. Like, to understand the world, to understand your father, you have to understand there's a snake in my freaking boot.
Leave it to Pixar to make me feel emotion about a toy or a fish. I mean, I went into Finding Nemo or Finding Dory, and you just walk out like tears in your eyes, and like, how can a movie about aquarium creatures make me feel so emotional? This doesn't add up. But so you guys are watching Disney Plus right now, which I think great, good quality content, no brainer. How many times have you watched Frozen 2 in the last 48 hours?
Dude, it is not even right. Like, I just feel, I'm almost like, I think when you were saying shame earlier, talking about y'all in the HOA, like, I almost feel like I can't even articulate it because there's so much shame around it. Truly, guys. It started streaming on Saturday, I think, right? So it was like, they were like, so literally guys, from Saturday to, or like Sunday to, guys, countless. Literally, it may be beyond my count at this point.
I remember I went to my brother's buddy he's a film critic, and they got us like advanced screener passes to go see Frozen 2 when it came out in theaters. And so I went with my nieces, my brother, and his buddy. I don't know why I got invited to this, but I was like, whatever. I'm too old to be there, but my nieces were there, and that was my end. And I remember I turned to my 8-year-old niece, Caitlin, and I go, Caitlin, what did you think of Frozen 2? Was it as good as the first? And she just looks up at me and goes, Uncle Sean, it was better than I could have even imagined. This little 8-year-old, she gets all Shakespearean on me. She might as well have been like, Uncle Sean, it is unparalleled, unprecedentedly great, amazing. Like, just this verbose little child was just had a transcendental experience with Queen Elsa.
It does it to you, man. It's like you emote from the soul. It's just so deep. You just want to like cry out and break out into song. You're like Into the Unknown. You're like, bro, I could just start singing that at any time.
Yeah, we have Disney Plus. So you better believe that a group of grown
men. Guys, someone's signing out now.
Well, it's been a good conversation, guys. Yeah, thanks.
We're on it. I did hear there's a great Twitter conversation going around that ESPN should just go ahead and release the 10-episode Jordan doc and the Bulls doc.
100%.
We got no sports.
What are they waiting for? Like, why would you not release it?
This is the time.
This is the time.
You have a captive audience. Your ratings are through the roof. Let's just do it.
People, what are you waiting? Come on. I think that's what happened with Frozen 2. I think they bumped up the release date, right? So you're like, because they understood. See, they're savvy, all right? They know what's going on.
Smart.
They know. Listen, the economy's down. The world's morale's down. Let's give them some Frozen, and let's give them some Bulls doc, and we'll get them going. I said Bulls doc. Bulls doc.
Yeah. All right. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to clarify that. But yeah, so speaking of Runaway Cow, they can jump. Anyways, let's just go ahead and move on to the next subject, which is
good news.
All right. So there's a lot of doom and gloom, especially right now. We got some sad stories. We got the whole coronavirus going around, COVID-19. But we are going to give you a nice little respite right now. And we actually have a series of good news stories that are happening in the midst of COVID-19 as a response to the coronavirus. And so definitely a little bit of optimism in your inbox here. So fellas, we're just going to go around the horn. We're going to read off some stories here. JT, why don't you get us started?
Well, Sean, in your second favorite city, Seattle, researchers at Kaiser Permanente Institute are already testing the vaccine on several dozen volunteers, and it seems to be they're responding pretty well.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, Washington got hit hard, but they seem to be bouncing back already.
They're leading the charge.
Awesome.
Come on, good news. That's good news.
Scott, you got one over here?
All right. Distilleries across the U.S. are bootlegging, but in a good way. Several alcohol distributors in Georgia, Oregon, and North Carolina are using their facilities to mass produce alcohol-based sanitizers to give away for free in light of the national shortage.
I love it, man.
Boom.
Could you ever believe that? I mean, just under 100 years later, there's another version of Prohibition, but this time it's for hand sanitizer. And this time the distilleries are doing the above board thing, and they're just getting out to the people.
They're paying it forward, you know?
You really are. Yeah, you love to see it. So perhaps another silver lining in all this, you see a lot of quarantine cities in Italy and China. There's a little bit of good news here, is that cities that have had mass quarantines have actually had a substantial decrease in air pollution. And we can only assume the same will be true for us here in the States. So, even though we're, kind of in a crummy time, at least the environment's a little bit cleaner. So,
some positives.
That counts for something.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
So the researchers are continuing to rally together, and Johns Hopkins, they're very optimistic. They can take plasma from those who've already been recovered from the coronavirus to boost the antibodies of at-risk and newly infected patients. So people helping people.
Yeah.
Love it.
Johns Hopkins is running on it. I mean, them and the CDC, you can trust that they're getting real up to time date here. So they're doing
That's right. That's right. Gotta love Johnny Hopkins, guys. Come on.
Love it. Just love it. They're doing it across too.
Good, John.
That's right. All right. Well, China seems to have gotten through the worst of it and have begun shutting down temporary hospitals and reopening parks and tourist attractions under careful supervision.
Wow. I love that.
Guys, tourism needs it. Tourism needs it.
Definitely needs it. It's nice to know there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And, I mean, they got hit real hard. I mean, obviously, they were the source of all this happening there in Wuhan. But great to see they're coming back to business there. Mm-hmm. All right, last one here. So obviously, you think about local business getting hurt pretty hard here, but Uber Eats is doing the right thing, and I imagine they're not alone. I imagine Favor's jumping in there too, but they're basically supporting the restaurant industry by waiving delivery fees for over 100,000 establishments, helping them to continue to stay open and pay their employees.
Wow.
That's big time. I mean,
big time.
You just think about how many people right now are living paycheck to paycheck, and they need this. They need this money coming in. Mm-hmm. It's really cool in the city of Austin. Even though we're shutting down eating in restaurants, we're still making opportunities for people to go and get carry out and drive through, and I think that's really important.
Absolutely.
So great to see. So there you have it. Some good news right in the midst of all this. That's and great. I'm sure there's plenty of stories. And we'll be doing everything we can on the buzzer to be sharing on Instagram, just positivity and just keep everyone's head up. So there you have it.
Awesome.
At the
buzzer.
So this is our final topic of the night. And this one, I kind of came up with it with you in mind, Scott.
I feel. Thank you. I'm
just thinking, what's it got to be like being a dad, being a mom, being a parent who's, for us as single guys, I mean, as bachelors, like we're sitting here and we're fine. We don't really have
barely take care of ourselves, but
we can't take care of ourselves. But at least another human being is not dependent upon us. But I think that for a parent, not only do you have to keep that child alive, but sometimes you got to be their entertainer, and that gets tough. So what I thought of is JT and I came up with some ideas for ways that someone like you, Scott, could buy yourself some time, maybe just get 5 minutes of peace. And so we have a list of 9 super helpful,
very helpful,
no way factual ways
to
distract your kids during a quarantine.
Guys, this is the content I'm here for. This is the buzzer. This is the content I've been expecting. You know,
Scott. If at the end of this, if you can give us really a rating, if we're going to be good parents someday, that would be very helpful. I kind of want to know: are these sadistic? Are these? Is this normal? Like, we need to know.
Just a couple 30-year-old guys taking a stab at
is this parenting?
what parenting
is this
should
us?
look like.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah, come on, let's hear it.
Let's do it. Let's go around the horn here. JT, why don't you kick us off? Number 1.
Okay, so sadistic or not, ask them to find all the differences between 2 pictures that are exactly the same.
Yep. So, kind of like The Office, when Pam tries to distract Creed, because in 2 exactly similar pictures. Have you ever tried this? Have you tried this with your?
I would love to say that I have. I would love, just because of the pure genius. But man, that is sadistic, guys.
It really is. I regret everything.
Oh, it's incredible. It's
Might buy you
incredible.
10 minutes though. You never know.
I mean, guys, that's at least gonna buy you 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
At least, you know.
I hope my future wife never hears this.
I'm just gonna scrub this content.
It's that guy.
He got lost in the COVID-19, and that.
I blame it on Corona.
Hey, it was a different time.
It was the Rona. All right, I'm gonna blame everything. It was the Rona, guys. I don't know.
Could have been the whiskey, but it also could have been the.
A little bit of the whiskey, a little bit of the Rona. Hard to say.
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, Scott, why don't you go ahead and read number 2 here for us?
I got you. All right, it's just fitting. Frozen 2 theme. Tell them Queen Elsa called and needs them to clean or take a nap or both.
I'm just saying,
guys. Pure genius right here. That's what I'm just. We need to have social distancing more often if this is the type of creativity that flows.
I mean, it's just like that's got to be like the silver bullet to any situation, right? It's like, you need to do this because Queen Elsa asked you to, and then boom, done.
There's mom and dad told you, and it's like, that's not going to get you too much.
Yeah.
It's like God or Queen Elsa, you're probably going to get a similar response.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
You're going right up to. It's a call right to the president. You're going right to the top of the chain of command there. I love it.
Yeah.
So number 3 here. We have them play a long and drawn out game of Monopoly where the loser has to do chores, but then in a twist, you find out that you're a socialist dictator and you take over and both of them do the chores. Socialist Monopoly. Everyone, the game of Monopoly alone, if they actually see it through, which the reality is they won't, but
right.
It might buy you a half hour and then before you rage quit the whole thing, but you might find a way to at least like put some actual stakes in the game to where
right.
I believe in the spirit of competition and that there should be a winner and a loser. And then that's how you motivate them to actually, do chores and keep order around the house.
Right.
I don't know.
I love, are there like Bernie and AOC, little.
Yeah. The end is hashtag Bernie 2020 here. That's the rallying cry. That's
right.
I just picture like a little 8-year-old just saying AOC.
Oh,
just crying out, man.
I'm my kid.
All right, Jake, number 4.
All right. So FaceTime a hypnotist and see if he can make them conk out. That's a huge problem for parents, right? Getting the kids to fall asleep.
Guys, it's all out war at night. I mean, truly, you're like, that's the reason we're having this conversation when we are, because literally, what did Jim Gaffigan say? He says he's like negotiating with terrorists. You're like, we're only going to do 5 books. And they're like, we're going to do 7. And you're like, okay, 6, right? You're like, somehow you end up losing and you don't understand how it happened. So this is a hypnotist. Do either of you guys have that unique skill? I mean, I would love to.
Yeah, we can learn. We're going to be shut down for a while.
Our roommate does card magic, but I don't know if it really works the same way.
You might bore him to sleep.
Yeah,
or maybe it's the first time anybody's ever done it. Card and hypnotism.
Card hypnotism is not a bad shout. We could make that a thing here.
I'm just saying, guys. Come on.
I like.
What's Dennis Furman? I don't know. We got great ideas right now.
All right, Scott, number 5. Why don't you read that one for us?
All right, number 5. Ask them to guess what we're doing today. Oh, sorry, guys. Hold on, guys. Oh, it's the Rona. I'm nervous, guys.
You're great.
What if it's the Rona and I'm like stuck here even longer?
Can we catch it over the?
I think it's. I opened up a questionable email earlier. I might already have it. It's hard to say.
You've been infected. Was it a Nigerian prince?
Yes, he sounded so convincing.
John is patient zero.
He sounded so convincing.
He was perfect grammatical layout. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. All right, number 5. Ask them to guess what we're doing today, and let them run through ideas until they say something that sounds like it won't be work for you.
Life hack. I've done this with my girlfriend where I just say, guess what we're going for dinner tonight? And then the first thing she says, I say, yup. And then that way.
You guessed it. It's a win-win.
It's the cheat code.
Guys, that's not just cheat code. That's just take home the prize. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Right.
That's genius.
It really is.
There's just no time for the guessing game. You just
I didn't know this was dating advice and marital advice. I thought this was parenting advice, but that sounds fantastic, guys.
I feel like everyone's just gonna see through these parlor tricks pretty quick, but we've got a good shelf life of about coronavirus to get through it and at least use it. I mean, like, you can't use the date night idea until we get out of quarantine, but hold on to that one. Here we go.
I like it. I got it, guys.
Absolutely. All right. Number 6, have them look up dirty words in the dictionary and see how many they can find, and then ground them for looking up dirty words in the dictionary.
So genius.
Just little justice.
That really, there's a lot of life lessons in that. You know, like what is wise, what's not wise. You know, when should you listen? When should you not? You know, I think that's layered.
That's all I'm saying. Like, if your friends tell you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? Yeah, you shouldn't look up dirty words. That's on you, kid. That's on you. So yeah, I think there's a good remedy there. We're never gonna do it.
You sign like that for it.
It's just like slowly the numbers are going down.
Yeah, I swear, future Mrs. Seelman, this is not me being held hostage.
Look, guys, we're delirious right now. You know.
All right, how about this one? Have them listen to NPR and let the soothing, boring voices lull them to sleep, like Ira Glass.
Again, you're just trying to get them to sleep.
Right.
Talk
That's
out.
all you're trying to do.
Hypnotist, NPR, whatever. Elsa.
It's basically the same thing, right? Hypnotist, NPR.
Wow.
Basically the same.
I think you're just using your resources to your best advantage.
That's right. That's awesome.
Absolutely. All right, Scott.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Give them a book of Mad Libs where they can write down all of those dirty words you let them learn earlier, then ground them again. How did that make it into the cycle again? It didn't just get one, it got 2.
Your kid is going to be grounded within the first 10 days of living. Our kid's grounded again. He pooped himself.
Double down on it.
Literally straight out the womb into timeout. You know, you're like,
kind of the equivalent of like if you catch your kid smoking a cigarette and you make him smoke the whole pack. It's kind of a similar effect of parenting here, where only the thing is, in this metaphor, I guess you're the one who gives your kid the cigarette to begin with. So this probably isn't very helpful. You know, come to think of it.
You give them the cigarette, you light it, you tell them to smoke it, you say smoke the whole thing, have them throw up everywhere. I have no experience with that though, guys. I don't know, you know.
It's either gold or rabbits. I don't know.
A whole generation of children have been ruined because of the buzzer. So here it is.
But I think today would be jewel pods though, bro. Like, you know, like you'd have them like smoke multiple pods.
Good point. Yeah, so you just light the pod for them. I don't even know how you do the whole jewel pod thing either, but we'll learn and then unlearn.
Well, exactly.
Exactly. Last and not least here, number 9. The reality is it was hard coming up with 9. So I don't really know. I don't have kids. So I guess just have them watch Frozen 2 again. That's the best advice I could give.
Amen. That's all I've done. So, guys, I think you trended back upwards a little bit at the tail end here. So
We really tried.
We caught a little bit of the tailwind for sure. But yeah, there's our official buzzer list. That's how you parents can stay sane through coronavirus quarantine.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We've done it for you.
Mm-hmm.
I hope people out there are taking notes,
I think, yeah. I don't know what they're doing out there, what finger they're holding up, but they're showing some kind of emotion out there.
They're not, yeah. That's well said, JT. So,
They're showing emotion.
Hashtag COVID-19. Well, this is the part of the show where before we wrap up, we like to give our guests a chance to impart the buzzer audience with words of wisdom. It could be something of note. It could be insightful. It could be just the only thing on your mind right now, very comical or whatever it is. Scott, this is your time to shine, amigo.
Oh my gosh, man. Well, how much time you got? I mean, that's the real. I mean, you can't have a former Baptist preacher. You can't that grew up in a Pentecostal church, man.
Yeah. If I know very well from the days of the Stone, if I give anyone preaching at the Stone 10 minutes, I'm asking for 30. I get it. I totally get it.
No, I love it. One of the first times I ever preached, they said, all right, Scott, we want you to preach, man, bring it, bring the house down. But look, man, and preach like Jesus is coming back. But dude, he's coming back in 35 minutes and be done before he gets there. I don't think I took that advice. I think I went way too long and tanked that first round. So, but live and learn.
Not at all.
No, man. I mean, I think honestly, with all this stuff going on, man, the few thoughts I've had is man, you look through history and go, man, like this is the stuff that brings people together. You look around and go, man, this is the stuff that allows community to shine, like for civilization to shine, to really step up and put our differences aside and come together for the common good in a world. And especially, man, I was almost dreading, 2020 from like just the pure political side of things of like how much we're about to be torn apart. And I look and go, man, in some of this, even as hard as this is, even as challenging as this is, that there's things that are actually potentially going to bring us together and bring even the political sides together.
Yeah.
And, so I think that I'm really encouraged by that. And then I want people to walk in peace. I mean, if you ask, I want people to be kind and be calm. And some of the things we've been saying, one of our pastors said, to be a people of courage and care. And I just think, when the world is losing its head and very fearful, there's time to walk in peace and have courage, and just to be kind to your fellow man. And I think lastly, man, I would just say that I took a group of people through Matthew 6 today, and just going, why can we walk in freedom? Why do we look around us so we don't have to be anxious, that we can look at the birds of the sky and know that God feeds them, and to look at the lilies of the field and know that God has clothed them? And it says, how do you know? And it literally says, you don't have to walk in anxiety because you have a heavenly Father who cares for you. Yeah. And when I think about that, I'm like, man, what else do we need? We have a God who understands what we're going through, meets us in it, wants to be with us, wants to walk with us. And therefore, how do we walk through this season? And that same passage gives us the answer. It says, seek first the kingdom of God. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things will be added unto you. So seek first loving God. Seek first loving your neighbor, right? Seek first the things of God. This is the perfect time. People always go, we pray on earth as it is in heaven, or in Austin as it is in heaven. Well, you actually get a chance to live that now. Like, what does it mean for heaven to be here, right? It's not hoarding 144 rolls of toilet paper, right? You're like, it's not doing those things. It's entering in and going, how can I be sacrificial? And where's the single mom? I mean, we've got literally people in our church where we have people that haven't eaten for a few days, and single moms that are afraid of, are they going to be able to make rent? And so, man, I think it's just a good time to gain perspective, look to our Heavenly Father who knows what we need, who's going to care for us, seek his kingdom, and trust that all things, including care for us in the midst of COVID-19, will be added unto us. And so, you know, maybe not as Pentecostals as I was going to go, man, but, you know, I think that's what I got for us.
That's a great word, man. I appreciate it. That's exactly what I was hoping for. And, you know, I think it's good to have perspective right now. And
yeah,
I think especially like there's so many opportunities that we can still give back. And you know, one of the things I've been thinking about is it doesn't even have to be monetary. I mean, there's opportunities to go offer to go grocery shop for someone who's afraid to go grocery shop for themselves, or, you know, offer to give back food bank. And I'm sure more and more opportunities will come up here before too long. And you know, people as the community organizes that. But, you know, I think that if we all take time to really just FaceTime someone who's alone and might be a little scared, you know, and just
absolutely.
Just little things that we can do. But Scott, I really appreciate that. Like I said, you know, tweeted you this morning, but been filling out my Twitter feed and my social feed with just hope and truth and pointing me to what really matters. And I think we need more of that. So.
Amen, bro. Amen. Well, let me say, I'm grateful for you guys. Thanks for having a noob to the podcast world jump on and not know what he's doing and have echo and he's like coughing phlegm and maybe giving you corona through you know, digital means. And I just want to give you all a shout out. I mean, John, saw you had posted something. I mean, I think, man, you're an example. And I know not to toot your own horn, but just to say, man, you already threw yourself out there to say, hey, if someone needs to go get groceries, that we'll do it. And man, that's the kind of stuff, dude. Like, you know, I think it was Mother Teresa said, you want to change the world, go home and love your family.
Yeah.
And I think that we look at these things and we think it's got to be epic. Like, you got to mobilize like 5,000 people. And nah, man, I think you just throw it out to a tweet and say, hey, we want to pick up grocery and pick up your groceries or your prescription because you're maybe in your 60s and you need help. And hey, we can do it. Or just a phone call or a podcast. I mean, you're like, man, there are a million different ways. And I think just loving faithfully is how you change the world, right? It's just small steps, small acts of kindness, done by a lot of people. What do they say? Do what you can with what you got, where you can. And I think that summarizes the whole thing. And so thank you guys for, man, being a light, making people laugh, making people coming up with ridiculous lists that parents, I hope, please do not use those.
Come on.
And maybe a few of those are good. I'll give you that. But thank you guys for just, I mean, making people laugh, loving people well, and putting yourself out there courageously, because it is when a lot of people aren't, and you guys are light in the darkness. And so I'm grateful for you guys as well.
Right back at you, awesome, brother. Really appreciate you, man. And thanks for hopping in. And I know you got a family to attend to, so it means a lot, man. But hopefully this gave you a little bit of a break there. Good luck with Frozen 2.
Use some of our ideas.
Let us know what works.
I was about to say, I got the list right here, guys. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna take notes on each one and report back to you. Okay.
Well, Chelsea, if they're terrible ideas, they were all JT's.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly where Sean lives.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you, Scott. Appreciate you, Buzzer Nation. Thanks for listening, and everyone stay safe and wash your hands, and if you wherever you go, wipe things down with Clorox and just be smart and make good choices. Name them all after me. You guys are great. Love you. Bye-bye.